Maybe 2021 has come. What are your expectations as a TUC, as one of the officials to trade union conference?
Comrade Muhammad Yunusa. I am the President General of Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies. The acronym is Ssascgoc. We were created by law as far back as 1978, and we are affiliated to Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. We thank God that unlike last year, we are marking May Day this year, 2021. We are also aware of the huge economic losses globally that started from the effect of COVID-19. So our expectations are rather very, very, very low. The economy is down. The indices of development are all down. And so our expectations are very, very low. We are particularly worried about the continuous increase in the cost of petroleum products. We are also worried and concerned about electricity tariff. We are very worried about job losses. We are not happy with casualization of workers. Can be casual endlessly in Nigeria, not get any permanent employment. Also, government continue to talk about creation of employment only as rhetorics, as different from reality. Jobs are not being created. The effect of all of this is that Nigerian worker today, for all the small money he earns, has over 20, 30 people depending on that small money you earn. And there's now general poverty in the land. We are not happy. Expectations are very, very, very low. There are no signs to make us hope that in the next few years things will be better than where we are. That is our story.
So, having said that the situation of workers are very low. So, what are the strategies you looking at in a way that you think this thing can be caught?
We have been saying it that government must cut down the cost of governance. You can't say, those of you in the media, you can't say you are not aware how much is spent by Nigerian government on the bicameral legislature, for example. You have the Senate, you have the House of Rep, and if you look at their functions, they are duplicated. So a government that is serious about cutting down costs will now say, okay, let us have only one legislature. Let's have a unicameral legislature. You scrap the House of Rep, for example. So whatever you are pouring into that place, you can save it and divert it to do other things. That is one way. If you cannot earn more, you can at least save costs. That will be a strategy that will revive our economy. And then you have to find a way to reduce insecurity in Nigeria. No investor will invest in a place that is not secured. And as long as there are indices of insecurity in Nigeria, foreign direct investment will continue to elude this country. So it's the function of government to protect lives and property. If they are able to do it, that is a huge minus. For if you want to grow your economy, you have to provide safety and security.
I'm sorry.
Before you go away from security, let's deal with security exhaustively. As far as Nigerians are concerned, it's one of the heatest issue in the hearts and mind of many. And nobody can move again. You can't go anywhere. The NS a few days ago, or a day ago, had to convene a summit in this direction. And the burden is this collectivity in dealing with the monster of insecurity as nowhere safe again. We believe that that's the option, the best option now for this challenge.
We believe that security is a collective duty of the citizens. But we have also been saying that there is a direct link between safe economic well-being and security. Poverty spawns criminality. And if you want to deal with insecurity, part of it is to fight poverty. The man that has not seen 2,000 naira in 3 months, if you give him 50,000 naira to go and kill people, he will do it. So we have been saying it and want to reiterate it that government has to reduce poverty, even as a way of fighting criminality.
But sir, the government officials are saying that it's not everything government can do. That the workers, your members, has a major role to play.
How?
Like, what do you think your members can do to help government in reducing the level of insecurity? Is there anything your workers can do?
Let us look at the narrative before now. Government gives security votes to all state governors as chief executive of their states. And before now, that money is not usually accounted for. If you ask for how they are using it, they'll tell you that security matters are shrouded in secrecy. You don't need to say what you are doing with it. So if you are the chief executive of a state, you have security votes. I don't know how much is given to you. I don't know what you are doing with it. How can I help you to secure the state? I don't know what your programs are. So we are now changing the narrative to say, no, if security is a collective responsibility of every citizen, let the state government share their plans with the citizens so that we can key into that plan and secure our states.
Okay, sir, let's come back to the concerns of the as a capitalization and loss of jobs as a result of the COVID-19 challenges. What's the action, of course, that you've been able to do now to secure the loss of job for people and other challenges?
What we want to do is to start with Kaduna State government. As you may have heard, the governor of Kaduna State has sacked about 4,000 workers just a few weeks ago. And the two congresses in Nigeria, both NLC and TUC, will have jointly written a letter to the governor and advise him to reverse that position immediately. If he doesn't, in the next few days, we are going to team up to lock down Kaduna State, because we are aware he's not alone on this misadventure. There are other governors that are waiting to see how it plays out, and they also want to take it over from there. So the weapon we have is to protest and show our displeasure to any government that is sacking the Nigerian workers.
Talking about economy, the state at which Nigeria is right now is, let me say, we are living at equilibrium level. Recently, the present administration has tried to borrow money from the pension fund managers' accounts. I don't know, how do you see that? What's your take on
They have borrowed, not that they have tried.
Okay.
They have borrowed chunk of
Okay.
money.
Okay. What's your take on it? And the economy?
The truth of the matter is that we want to deal with facts, not speculations. In the media, in the general discussions across the country, we are told that government has borrowed money from PENCOM. But don't forget that there are leaders of TUC and NLC on the board of PENCOM, and they continue to assure us that that did not happen. That government said it as a proposal and they refused, and so it didn't happen.
Yeah, comrade, there is. I have taken up this very issue with the NLC president before. He is still saying this now, but you know how our government work. There is a clear evidence that money has been borrowed.
What do you call clear evidence? Because if I have to choose, for example, between believing you and believing the NLC president, for example, I will obviously believe you. Because, as I've just said, there are two of them. They are board members of PENCOM. One is from TUC, one is from NLC. And they are there to protect our interests. If they say nothing has happened, then we have to believe them. Until there is a contrary evidence. Yes.
Well, that's away from the PENCOM issue. Your organization, building collaboration with government on the way forward of the issues we're talking about. I want to just be specific on your role in the whole of this matter. What do you have on the table?
Say it again, sorry.
Your organization now,
yes.
Your association.
Yes.
Yes, definitely are collaborating with all the organizations, the level centers, and then the government to come out of this. What's on the table? We're talking about collective responsibility.
What we are saying, for example, is that the Nigerian worker have to form a political party. To form a political party that can contest for power in Nigeria and take over power in Nigeria. That is what we feel can guarantee our jobs and our welfare. And already we have started mobilizing people in that direction. We don't believe that this present structure as Nigeria is today can bring any meaningful progress to the citizens. All that we continue to hear are promises and rhetorics and subterfuge, but nothing comes out from it. And there's nothing stopping us from contesting for power anyway. So we want to come together, we want to sensitize people, we want to mobilize and see how we can form a party that is worker friendly. After all, we are the one creating the wealth of Nigeria. That's what we believe in, and that's what we are doing right now.
Want to form a new political party?
Okay, honestly, I still disturbing on the present minimum wage that workers are receiving. Is there any future plan to stop Nigerian workers being deceived? Because before this present, the negotiation that went on the present minimum wage somehow delayed. The time it was supposed to be carried out, to be done, it was somehow delayed due to the politics among the government. Is there any plan ahead to avoid such to repeat itself?
The delay was unfortunate, but worse things have happened since that time. The job losses, for example, the impact of COVID-19, for example. So when you are in the eye of the storm, you don't talk of that small wound on your leg. The one you're talking like small wound on the foot. We are facing more serious challenges right now as I speak to you. When we get to that bridge again, we'll cross it.
Sir, I'm trying to look at the relationship between the Nigerian Labour Congress and the present administration. How do you see their relationship in reference to the previous administration of the Nigerian Labour Congress? Is it in good times now for the Nigerian workers?
There are two things that you have to know. The thing is that labor in the past used to rely solely on force to twist the hand of government or to squeeze a favorable situation from government by using force. But Using force in the circumstance we are now does not solve problem. What solves problem is to generate ideas that can challenge the policies of government. You bring better ideas to the table and negotiate it. For example, our own association had problem with, we have members in Nigeria Communication Satellite, and the present federal government at a point decided to privatize Nigeria Communication Satellite. The government gave the reason that at the point they came on board as organization, they were given a period of moratorium during which government would take all their expenses on, personnel, equipment, everything is borne by government for some period. And with the agreement that after the moratorium, the organization should be strong enough to generate its own revenue and be independent of government purse. So at the end of that period, management of that organization was not able to make NICOMSAT sustainable on itself. And government said no, we cannot continue to fund it. They wanted to privatize it so that private people bring their funds, invest in that place and take over the place. Do you understand it? Yes. Well, this association did not go and lock up NICOMSAT. We brought ideas to government and negotiated it. And government saw the sense in what we were saying. And as I speak to you, NICOMSAT is not privatized. Government has only taken measures to strengthen the internal mechanism on how they can generate better revenue from there. So if you are no longer applying force to government, the perception of most Nigerians is that you have a compromise. Government has bought you over. Do you understand? Yes. But the way things are right now, things are changing. You have to generate ideas, bring it to the table and negotiate it. It solves a lot of problems.
So that is to say the rules have changed now.
Yes.
But it's still beneficial to the Nigerian.
Yes, it's beneficial.